Just imagine the electric charge crackling through a sunlit Chicago boardroom, where polished glass walls reflect the tense faces of power brokers. As a sharp-suited young titan bursts in, fixes his steely gaze on the silver-haired billionaire at the helm, and thunders, "This glittering fortress you forged from deceit? Consider it mine. You discarded my mother and me like worthless scraps. Now watch as I turn your kingdom to dust." In that heartbeat, long-buried truths erupt like a volcano, compelling a man who spent a lifetime hiding behind walls of wealth to face the fiery passion he once betrayed, and the unbreakable son who clawed his way from obscurity to seize the throne. But in the ashes of vengeance, could a love thought lost forever reignite, weaving redemption from the threads of regret and desire? Welcome to Mr. Cael Stories, your haven for narratives that grip your imagination, stir whirlwind emotions, and nudge you to reflect on the way unpredictable paths life carves out. If this is your first visit, go ahead and tap that subscribe button. Let's ignite some genuine exchanges there. Nadia Voss had always been a fighter, born in the gritty shadows of Chicago's working-class neighborhoods, where dreams were as rare as quiet nights. She'd clawed her way through community college on scholarships and night shifts, her sharp mind for numbers landing her an entry-level spot at Hale Enterprises. But nothing prepared her for Marcus Hale, the enigmatic force at the company's core. As his executive assistant, she was thrust into his orbit, organizing his chaotic schedule, anticipating his needs with an intuition that bordered on magic. It started with professional respect, but soon, those late evenings in his sprawling office evolved into something electric. One crisp autumn night, with the city lights twinkling like distant stars beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows, Marcus looked up from his desk, his blue eyes locking onto hers with an intensity that made her breath hitch. "Nadia, you've become indispensable," he said, his voice a low timbre that sent shivers down her spine. She laughed it off, but the air thickened. He rose, closing the distance, his hand brushing hers as he took a report from her grasp. The touch lingered, sparking. Before she knew it, his lips were on hers, firm, exploring, tasting of coffee and unspoken wants. She pulled back, heart racing. "This is a bad idea," but he cupped her face. "Or the best one we've had." That kiss was the spark. Their affair bloomed in secrecy, a whirlwind of stolen moments. In the elevator that first time, after a grueling board meeting, tension snapped. Marcus pinned her gently, his mouth claiming hers with hunger. "I've wanted this all day," he growled, hands sliding up her thighs, bunching her skirt. She gasped as his fingers found the edge of her lace panties, teasing the same before dipping in to stroke her folds. She was already wet, aching for him. He circled her clit with deliberate slowness, building pressure until her knees buckled. "Marcus!" "Yes," she moaned, her head thrown back against the wall. He hit the stop button, freeing his straining erection and lifting her leg to hook around his hip. Entering her in one fluid thrust, he filled her completely, the stretch exquisite. Their pace was frantic, his hips snapping forward, her nails clawing his shoulders through his shirt. Pleasure coiled tight in her core, exploding in waves that had her clenching around him, milking his release as he buried deep with a guttural groan. Breathless, they disentangled just as the doors opened, but the secret smile they shared sealed their fate. Marcus was an enigma wrapped in power, 6'3" of sculpted muscle, with a presence that commanded rooms and a vulnerability he showed only to her. His empire wasn't just business, it was a shield against a childhood marred by his father's relentless demands. Success or nothing, the old man had drilled into him, leaving little room for emotion. But with Nadia, walls crumbled. Their weekends at his lakeside cabin were pure escape, the water lapping softly as they shed clothes and inhibitions. One moonlit evening, he carried her to the deck, laying her on a blanket under the stars. "Let me worship you," he whispered, kissing down her neck, lingering on her breasts. His tongue swirled around one nipple, teeth grazing lightly while his hand pinched the other, sending jolts straight to her core. He trailed lower, parting her thighs to expose her glistening center. "So ready for me," he murmured, blowing cool air before his tongue delved in, lapping at her entrance with long, savoring strokes. He sucked her clit gently, then firmer, 2 fingers sliding inside to curl against that sensitive spot, pumping in rhythm. Nadia's hips bucked, moans echoing over the lake as ecstasy built like a tidal wave. "Don't stop." "Oh God," she pleaded, fingers weaving into his hair. He intensified, tongue flicking rapidly until she shattered, her release flooding his mouth in sweet pulses. Rising, he positioned at her entrance, sliding in inch by torturous inch. Feel every bit, he urged, thrusting deep, their bodies sinking in a dance of need. She wrapped her legs around him, urging faster, deeper. Sweat beaded on their skin, the night air cooling it as they chased climax, hers crashing first, walls fluttering around him, drawing his own powerful release as he spilled inside her with a roar. In the quiet after, tangled and sated, she'd trace his chest. What if this was our life? Marcus would hold her. It could be, but doubt lingered, a shadow in his eyes. The crash came swift and brutal. Nadia had felt off for days, nausea, fatigue, but the test confirmed it. Pacing the penthouse's marble floors, she rehearsed words, hope warring with fear. Marcus arrived, shedding his coat with fatigue etched on his face from a brutal negotiation. Rough day? She asked, but he sensed her tension. What's going on? She handed him the test, voice soft. We're pregnant. Shock froze him, then fury thawed it. This is impossible. He hurled the stick across the room. You planned this, didn't you, to chain me down? Nadia recoiled. How can you say that? This is us, our love made real. He laughed bitterly. Love? You're a convenient escape, Nadia. But a child? My father would see it as weakness. The board would crucify me. Tears welled. But it's our baby. We can fight for this. His face twisted. No, we end this farce now. He summoned security, rough hands guided her out as she begged. Marcus, think of us. The door slammed, echoing her heartbreak. On the windy street, she collapsed against a wall, hand on her belly. We'll be okay, she whispered to the life within, stealing for the unknown. Survival mode kicked in hard. The South Side apartment was a far cry from luxury. Leaky faucets, thin walls transmitting neighbors' arguments. Nadia traded power suits for aprons, frothing coffees dawn to noon, then crunching numbers till midnight. Exhaustion was her constant shadow, but Liam's arrival lit the darkness. His first cry pierced her soul. Holding him with those familiar blue eyes staring up, she vowed, I'll give you the world. Days blurred, feedings at 3 a.m., cooing him back to sleep while bills piled. Mama's got you? She'd murmur, rocking him as memories assaulted. Marcus's tender touches, now ghosts. As a toddler, Liam was her joy, his laughter echoing in their tiny space. Ball, he'd squeal, tossing a sock roll. But questions came early. At 4 during a park outing where other kids had dads pushing swings, he asked, where's mine? Nadia knelt, heart twisting. He's on a long adventure, but he sent you to me as the best gift. She'd distract with games, but the void grew. Nights, after Liam slept, she'd allow tears, fingers tracing her body where Marcus had once worshipped, longing for that connection. Work grinded on, rude customers, aching feet. But Liam's preschool drawings, for Mama, my hero, kept her going. She enrolled him in free library programs, nurturing his curiosity. You're smart like a scientist, she'd praise, hiding her skipped lunches. Guilt simmered. Should she reach out to Marcus? But pride and fear of rejection held her back. Liam, sensing her sadness, would hug her. I love you most. His innocence fueled her resolve, but seeds of his own quest were sowing. If Nadia's quiet battles and fierce maternal love are stirring something in you, hit that like and drop in the comments. What's the most profound sacrifice love has demanded from you? Spread this tale by sharing. It might touch someone just when they need it. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Join us for more. Liam's formative years were a crucible, shaping a boy into a force. The apartment's confines couldn't contain his burgeoning mind. At 8, he devoured books on inventors, sketching gadgets on scrap paper. One day I'll invent something to make you smile forever, he'd tell Nadia after seeing her rub weary eyes. She ruffled his hair. You already do, champ. But hardship etched lines, bullies mocking their thrift store clothes, Liam defending with wits. Brains over brawn, he'd say, echoing her lessons. Library visits became ritual. There he discovered coding, fingers dancing on public keyboards, creating basic programs that amazed librarians. This kid's a prodigy, one whispered to Nadia. A turning point came at 11. Overhearing Nadia's hushed call to a friend about that man who broke us. Curiosity piqued. He sneaked into her drawer, finding letters and clippings naming Marcus Hale. The photo confirmed it. The eyes, the jaw. He's rich? And he left us like this? Anger bubbled, but so did ambition. I'll show him, Liam vowed silently. School became his arena. Straight A's, science fairs won with solar models built from junk. Proud of you, Nadia beamed, but noticed his growing secrecy, late nights online, researching business tycoons. At 14, his first app, a budget tracker, sold for $500. For rent, he insisted, handing her the cash. Tears in her eyes, she hugged him. You're my miracle. High school accelerated the climb. Coding clubs, internships snagged through sheer grit. Bullies faded as respect grew. A mentor teacher spotted his talent, guiding college apps. MIT full ride, Nadia whooped, dancing in their kitchen. But parting stung. Take care of yourself, mama. At university, isolation hit, but pain propelled. Nights coding through tears, channeling abandonment into innovation. Voss Innovations birthed from a dorm project. AI that outsmarted stock markets. Seed funding snowballed. By graduation, millions banked. But headlines on Hale scandals, lavish parties, ethical lapses fueled his true aim. Vulnerable, he noted, buying shares incognito, allies in shadows feeding intel. Twists emerged. A rival bidder nearly outpaced him, forcing Liam to leverage risky loans, heart-pounding and high-stakes calls. Victory came at 25, a billionaire forged from fire. Payback time, he whispered, boarding the jet to Chicago, mind racing with scenarios. Hale Enterprises' Boardroom was a masterpiece of modern design. Sleek chrome accents, panoramic views of the bustling loop. Sun streamed in, but the atmosphere was stormy as executives fidgeted. Marcus, his once vibrant energy tempered by age and excess, called order. Address the rumors, he demanded. Before answers came, doors swung wide. Liam entered like a conqueror, team in tow, his presence sucking air from the room. Esteemed board, he announced, voice booming with the authority honed in countless pitches. Voss Innovations has secured majority control. I assume leadership immediately. Pandemonium, chairs scraping, voices overlapping. Marcus surged to his feet, veins bulging. Security! Who authorized this intruder? But Liam's lawyers flashed documents halting them. Legally binding, one stated. Marcus's eyes narrowed on Liam, the familiar features hitting like a freight train. You... Who are you really? Liam stepped forward, close enough to see the flicker of recognition. Liam Voss, the son you conceived with Nadia, then discarded along with her dignity. Gasps rippled. Marcus paled, collapsing into his chair. Flashbacks assaulted. Nadia's broken pleas, nights he'd drowned guilt in scotch, convincing himself it was for the best. Proof, he croaked. Harlan interjected. The founder's clause. Bloodline can contest via test. Marcus latched on. Do it. Liam's smile was cold. After you confront the woman you shattered. Tonight. Here. As Liam exited, Marcus whispered, What have I done? The board dispersed in whispers, leaving him alone with ghosts. Twilight bathed the penthouse in golden hues, but tension thickened the air as Nadia arrived. She dressed carefully, a form-fitting emerald gown that hugged her hips, accentuating the confidence time had gifted. Marcus opened the door, time rewinding at her sight, the same captivating eyes, fuller curves speaking of strength earned through trials. Nadia, he breathed, ushering her in, his hand lingering on her back, sparking memories. Liam lurked in a corner, observing. Explain this summons, she said, voice steady but edged. Marcus poured aged whiskey, his pour unsteady. To face my sins. I was blind, terrified of vulnerability in a world that chews up weakness. Argument flared. You left us penniless, Marcus. Liam scraped by while you lived like a king. He advanced, emotion raw. Every deal, every victory tasted hollow without you. My father's grip twisted me. Love was liability. Their breaths mingled. His fingers grazed her cheek. Forgive me? Resistance wavered. She slapped his hand away, but the touch ignited. Words are cheap. Passion overtook. He pulled her close, lips crashing in a kiss laced with desperation, tongues battling, hands roaming. She shoved him back, then yanked him forward, tearing at his shirt. "Damn you," she hissed, but her body betrayed her, pressing against his hardness. He spun her to the window, zipper rasping down, dress pooling at her feet. "Still so exquisite," he murmured, cupping her lace-covered breast from behind, thumbs rolling nipples to aching points through the fabric. Nadia moaned, arching into him as his hand slipped lower, parting her thighs to find her soaked. "Always ready for me," he teased, fingers sliding along her slit, dipping into pumps slowly, curling to hit her sweet spot. Her knees weakened. She braced on the glass, the city a voyeur to their reunion. Dropping to knees, he turned her, burying his face between her legs. Tongue lashed her clit with fervent strokes, sucking the bud while fingers thrust deeper, scissoring to stretch her. "Tastes like heaven," he groaned against her, vibrations sending shocks. Nadia's hips bucked, cries building. "Marcus, don't stop!" Until orgasm tore through, legs quaking as she flooded his mouth. He rose, stripping bare, his erection throbbing. Guiding her to the sofa, he laid back. She straddled, sinking onto him inch by inch, gasping at the fullness. "Ride me," he urged. She did, rolling hips in circles, then bouncing with increasing fervor. Breasts heaving. He sat up, sucking a nipple while thrusting up, their rhythms syncopated frenzy. Sweat gleamed. Her nails raked his chest, drawing red lines. "Come with me," she demanded. They did, her walls spasming, milking his pulsing release as he filled her with hot spurts. Collapsed, hearts pounding, Liam's quiet exit went unnoticed, his scheme fracturing under their raw bond. Corporate warfare raged on, a chess game of lawsuits and maneuvers. Marcus, revitalized by Nadia's fire, dug in with old allies, countering Liam's aggressive acquisitions. Board meetings turned battlegrounds, Liam's innovative pitches clashing with Marcus's traditional clout. A twist. An anonymous leak of old emails hinted at Elder Hale's meddling, but Liam dismissed it initially. Amid chaos, Nadia and Marcus's trysts became lifelines. In an opulent hotel overlooking the river, he greeted her with roses, but passion overruled romance. Binding her wrists to the headboard with silk, he blindfolded her. "Trust me," he whispered, feathers tickling her skin from toes to throat, lingering on inner thighs. Ice followed, cube melting on her navel, dripping down to her core. Cold, then hot, he teased, his mouth warming the trail, tongue delving into her folds. Fingers joined, 3 now, stretching her as he sucked her clit with vacuum pressure. Nadia thrashed, senses heightened by darkness. "Marcus, please!" He mounted, entering with a single deep thrust, pounding relentlessly, hands spanking her ass lightly. "Scream for me," he commanded. She did, orgasm ripping as he flipped her, taking from behind, fingers rubbing her pearl until another wave hit, his release following in powerful jets. Breathless, he unbound her, holding tight. "This is real. Us against the world." Office liaisons intensified. Late one night, amid strategy files, Nadia pushed him against the desk. "My turn," she purred, dropping to knees, taking his length and mouth. Tongue swirled the head, sucking deep while hands stroked his shaft and cupped his balls, rolling them gently. Marcus groaned, hips bucking. "Nadia, so good." She rose, bending over the desk. He hiked her skirt, entering swiftly, thrusting with abandon. Hand in her hair, pulling lightly, he reached around to circle her clit. "Come on, me," he urged. She shattered, walls gripping as he emptied inside. In quiet moments, truths emerged. "My father beat emotion out of me. Love was weakness," Marcus confessed. Nadia shared, "Raising Liam alone taught me strength, but loneliness scarred." Bonds deepened, intimacy a bridge over chasms. Liam's turmoil peaked, eavesdropping on a tender call. "I need you, Marcus." He felt betrayed. "How can you?" He confronted Nadia, voice cracking. "After everything?" Hurt morphed to action. Delving deeper into archives, he unearthed the forgeries, doctored letters labeling her an opportunist, penned by the elder to preserve purity. "He orchestrated it all," Liam raged, storming the family mansion. The confrontation was epic. Evidence slammed down. The old man cornered. "You stole my family!" Guards hovered, but truth prevailed. The elder's empire-crushing schemes exposed, from bribes to manipulations. Board climax was theatrical. Liam presented dossiers, projectors flashing proofs. "This rot stops now." Elder Hale ejected amid capes, shares plummeting then rebounding under new hope. To Marcus, Liam offered peace. I sought destruction, but let's forge legacy together. Co-CEOs. Handshake turned embrace, tears flowing. Proud of the man you became, son? Rooftop magic unfolded, candles flickering, Marcus knelt. You salvaged my soul. Marry me. Ring, a elegant sapphire matching her eyes, slipped on amid kisses. Inside, celebration turned carnal. He stripped her slowly, lips on every revealed inch. On the bed, he spread her, tongue worshipping her core with languid laps, fingers thrusting in tandem. Sweet as sin, he murmured, building her to edge, denying twice before allowing release. Entering missionary, gazes locked, thrusts deep and measured. I love you. Quickening to frenzy, her legs locked around him, nails drawing blood as mutual climax thundered. If this saga of desire's depths, betrayal's sting, and love's victory has captivated you, like now, and comment, how has rediscovered passion changed your world? Share far and wide. Subscribe for endless inspiration. Yacht vows were enchanting. Lake Michigan's gentle waves underscoring promises of eternity. In your arms I found home, Marcus vowed. Nadia echoed, through fire we emerged unbreakable. Reception danced into night, Liam toasting, to family reborn. Honeymoon cabin was paradise revisited. Fireside, champagne poured over her curves, Marcus licking trails from breasts to belly, tongue dipping into her navel before southward. Between thighs he feasted, sucking, nipping, fingers curling inside as she writhed. More, please, she begged. He obliged, adding vibration from a toy, waves crashing until she squirted in ecstasy. Mounting her, positions shifted, missionary to doggy, spooning to reverse cowgirl, each thrust a declaration. Releases multiple and shattering. Mornings brought lazy lovemaking, sun filtering as he entered from behind, slow rocks building to fervent peaks. Eternal, they sighed, bodies one. Decades wove a tapestry of triumph. Hale Voss pioneered ethical tech, Liam's innovations global. He wed, children echoing laughter once absent. Nadia and Marcus traveled, passions undimmed, beach trysts under moons, hotel escapades reigniting sparks. Their story whispered, betrayal scars, but forgiveness liberates. Intimacy heals divides. Redemption demands courage. Seize love's flames, they illuminate destinies. What a mesmerizing odyssey. If stirred like, subscribe, join our vibrant crew of dreamers and thinkers who return for these soul-shaking tales week after week. And to our steadfast community, you're the heartbeat of this channel. Your enthusiasm in the comments and shares fuels every story we tell. Buckle up for this roller coaster, but pause for a sec. If accounts of scorching betrayals morphing into all-consuming romance make your blood rush, smash like right this instant. Down in the comments, spill it. Have you ever clawed back trust from the brink of total shatter? Comment your revelation. Share with seekers of hope. Grateful for you at Mr. Cael Stories. Until next.